years we are developing economical sustainable development policy in the geoparks. But the geopark also plays where we have to create, where we have to think, a place where we have to ask questions, and sometimes questions are more important than the answers. So it's a little bit in this line that is this presentation. Okay. So 10 years after the first geopark, the confusion between geopark and other territories promoted by UNESCO still exists. Geoparks, World Heritage Sites, Biosphere Reserve, Natural Regional Park. What is the difference? The difference between these territories is much more difficult to demonstrate between geopark and biosphere reserve, like you know very well, and less if we refer to the text of their founding definitions. And we must accept that it could be theoretically considered that in the concept geoparks should be considered like a biosphere reserve specialized on geological heritage values. In spite of the important achievement of the Global Geopark Network since 2004, geoparks have de facto poor arguments to oppose the defenders of the vision geoparks are like a biosphere reserve subcategory. Geopark should appear to their visitors totally different with the other category of territories. But for several reasons, they have real difficulties to make it evident. In this territorial juxtaposition, the geoparks, as experimental territories, need to promote their singularity. Their similarity with all classic natural territories will work against geopark. The geoparks are limited in a vision of a basic trilogy: museum, pedagogic panel, pedagogic trends. A basic trilogy which has no conceptually evolution, of course, apart on the design point of view, from 150 years. We are doing the same today than our ancestors were doing in 1870 for the first American National Park, Yellowstone. We are using the same tool. We didn't invent anything. The unique, clear particularity is that a visitor will meet in geoparks more panel on geologic heritage. Do you think that is enough? In the core of the concept, from the first origin, the geopark embodies an indisputable uniqueness which is nowadays forgotten. This unequaled geopark feature, based on their utility, necessity and function, has to be founded in the real semantic significance of the geological heritage. Speaking of geology, on the memory of the earth, is overall speaking about time. Coming back to the geopark concept, the constitutive aim of a geopark is not simply to teach geology, but to educate, to share, to inspire thinking on another version of time. The vision of the 4.5 billion years of the Earth, its millions of paleo-environment, past phases of the planet, is providing a fourth dimension to the daily vision of the planet. Geopark, like other natural territories, are trying to open a kind of time window. We are speaking about the present and we go to the past. Here is this work, and the work was for 180 million years. But this attempt is limited on an elementary round trip, present, past, present. Constitutes a step for including a fourth dimension vision, it can't be considered conceptually satisfactory. Time is a continuum, and it can't be stopped in a present and getting sense in a two-way vision past-present. Geoparks have to offer a time fourth dimension in an attempt of a better comprehension and thinking of a today needs to be completed necessarily by a vision of future. A vision, as for a past vision, we should only be guided by geosciences. With this time conceptual necessity, the PPF concept should afford the complete specificity and unquestionable difference between the geopark and the other territories. PPF, which is a development from 2000, is based on the systematic use in geopark of interpretative support which could present on each site open to visitor free superimposed image of the locality corresponding to its present situation, its origin and genesis, and its future evolution. If in a small time scale, PPF work on a site could be illustrated by free image, classic image, past, present, future, the problematic is much more interesting and complex at a geological time scale. This point could change our approach to present geology to public. Just a short story. This is a famous site which is in the geopark where I'm working in the southern France. It's very, very famous. It's a unique ammonite slab of 400 square meters with 1,000 of ammonite there. And our team, we have teach maybe more than 500,000 of students there. We have trained, I don't know how many hundreds of professors. We were saying all the time, here, 180 million years ago, it was a sea and all that. But it's true, but also it's wrong. It's wrong. Why? If we have to consider something, in this image, we are here in the space, and we are looking the boat, and we are describing the boat. But coming back to the boat, to the past, the boat doesn't stay at the main place. And when we are saying the ammonite, it was a sea, but it was a sea, okay. It was a sea on another place of the planet. And where we are at the moment, and where it was 180 million years ago, it was not the sea, it was another environment. And it's the same for the future. If we want to describe the future, we have to think that we are on a boat moving, and we don't have to describe the boat, but what will exist exactly where we are. To better understand, let's come back to the example of the ammonite slab. You have here, it's our position. We are here. It's that we are looking. Coming back from the past 180 million years ago, the here stays there. But the point that we are describing is there and corresponds to another environment. And in our point that I suggest to name site universal position, we have another environment. For the future is the same. Our boat is moving, and we have to describe two different environments. One future connected with our site, universal site localization, and one future which will follow the boat, if you understand the image. So we are to work with a PPF in a kind of new vision of space in time, and not just working on 3 simple points, but in fact we are working on 5 points, And this is very interesting, because by explaining that, we can explain really and give to the people the possibility to feel what's the real dynamic of our planet. Of course, working in PPF is using the same time scale. If we are working on a site of 400 years ago, we are speaking of the future of 400 in the future. We are working with the same time scale. With a complement and coherent PPF concept, equipment in the territory, geoparks will be much less with any kind of existing territory and will demonstrate clearly its uniqueness and function. Geopark, a territory offering another experience with the planet, a true travel in time and space, a meeting with the dynamic and life of our planet. A geopark, a different place where visitors are invited to develop new thoughts and experience around the time. A territory where visitors are walking in a 4-dimension. Welcome in Geopark. Welcome in the 4th dimension.
Are there any comments or questions from the audience? No? Okay, I think we can go ahead to the next